Hello folks, here we are for another livecast. I've got a 1v1 for you with members of the realm. In purple we have Man11th, down by the south pole of this moon. In red we have Masterofnone up at the north pole. Zooming out, it seems as though they have reasonably balanced spawns actually because of the expansion possibilities. If anything, Man11th is going to have slightly better spawn because of this huge clump next to him, which is closer than the huge clumps that Masterofnone would have. Now, while they do their opening build orders of the typical Mex Energy Mex factory, or at least that is what is advised, and usually bot factories as seen there, whoops, sorry, by Masterofnone, and my word, that's a lot of line commands, goodness. Wow, that's quite hefty. Well, we'll have a look at what those are. They're probably factories of some sort, or maybe some storage. No, they won't be storage because, yeah, they won't be in line commands. But while we do that, let's have a quick look around the system. We have a 2-planet system. We have Odoso with 93 and Demon Panda with 139 metal sites. Strange that we're starting on a moon and have an Earth biome, well, desert biome, that's kind of worn out on the second planet. Oops. No matter. Now, let's get back to the game. Masterofnone has 2 fabricators out already, getting a third one, trying to get that eco up desperately. He's obviously stalling on energy and is diverting his fabricators from his mechs to his energy. That is rather interesting. Might have just sort of worn it through with the mechs considering the commander's accelerated build rate, but now this fabricator down here is going to be working on that. I'm not sure how long he'll be able to, especially with all of this assisting. Might not be wise in the early game to get out too many fabricators because you do run the risk of stalling your economy. Hence why Man11th has gone for a couple of scampers first while he gets his commander to sort out his economy pronto. Now these scampers will act as scouts and will have a big job on their hands because there's so many potential spawn sites. Just like mine there. Basically a spawn now is any which has 5 metal sites in it. And you can see now that there are lots of places where you could have had a spawn with 5 metal sites. Aside from that, he's just getting out a couple of fabricators now. Probably going to go and get him his mechs. And obviously an awkward little crater there that appears rather flat. Interesting. I must admit, I'm not a fan of the new craters. They look nice, but I don't know. There's just nothing interesting about moons anymore to me. Anyway, we're not here to listen to my idle rants about moon biomes. Let's have a look at what Masterofnone is doing. He's got up more energy and eco now, and he's just expanding to all sorts of mechs, and has obviously used area commands to just expand. This commander now has deviated from his huge area commands and line commands, and will likely now just be getting some more eco, or probably these factories first and then the extra eco. I'm not entirely sure what he will be doing with that. Nope, the extra eco first. Interesting that neither player is getting up extra factories yet, but Man11th is just about to scout Masterofnone, and as soon as he does, he is going to be diverting his abilities to those factories. Masterofnone getting up an air factory, going for some fireflies, I shouldn't wonder. As a result, we'll probably see them pop out almost instantly. Well, it's completed, but now he's slightly distracted by this scamper, and out comes a hummingbird first, interestingly. But the scamper's now going to meet the commander. He's not going to enjoy his time meeting his commander. And there comes the next factory to help defend against further and future Man11th raids. Interesting that we still don't have any new factories prioritised by Man11th. Potentially what might be an idea is to make a proxy base, but you never know. Because on a 1v1 on a moon biome like this, you can always make a proxy base halfway between yours and the enemy. That vastly reduces the travel time between your 2 spawns. Lots of fabricators here sitting idle. Might be wise to get them on some energy storage, because neither player, I believe, has actually built any energy storage at this point. and instead is just going for huge energy production instead. But now we do have the scampers beginning to be produced. Maybe these fabricators will go and make some more factories momentarily. I'm not entirely sure. They might even come over here and assist this one with his metal site expansion. To me, I always find having 2 or maybe even 3 basic fabricators on a metal site is really quite effective, especially in the early game. Now, this scamper is going to find himself in a spot of bother because there's an anti-air tower right there, and is also effective at taking out single scamper raids. So that was very good placement of defense there by MasterofnOne, who now has a lot of fabricators coming in to do something, get up a radar. There we are. He's going to want a little bit more energy than he actually has at this point in time. Another scamper coming from the other side of the North Pole. I'm just going to keep caps lock on here so we can constantly see the build orders and the commands of each of these players. These 2 scampers now actually going to come in from behind, maybe take out even a mechs. In fact, I find it likely that they will, and it's even been targeted there. So, that's some mechs down. Very good raiding. He might want to start moving it away. No, that mechs is gone. But so is the scamper, because these ants are going to take him out just too late, unfortunately. Brilliant raiding there by Man11th. He's now got some more coming in from the front. He's going to keep MasterofnOne on his toes, who is also getting a pelter now, interestingly, by that radar installation. Just try and defend off against attacks there, but now we see Man11th with his bot factories all going to be producing scampers. My goodness me, that's going to really put some pressure on MasterofnOne, who has not yet really significantly increased his production. Yes, he has 3 ant factories, but I'm not entirely sure about his eco, especially with all of those fabricators doing that pelter, and now an advanced vehicle factory which decided not to build. A little glitch there, perhaps? I've seen a lot of bugs where you place a building and then the people next to it just don't bother to build it. And I must say, that's a lot of vehicle factories now coming out from Man11th, all in a line going up there, plus his commander's going to be doing it, but he's going to constantly expand with metal at the same time, so he's always going to be booming his economy while expanding his factory. That is pretty much the essence of Planetary Annihilation. Expand, boom your economy, and expand some more. Simple. Well, at least it is on pen and paper. Actually putting it into practice is slightly more difficult. Now, something I will say about Man11th's expansions. They are undefended. That is the thing about MasterofnOne's expansions. He's got up a pelter here, an anti-air there. I mean, he hasn't expanded too far in comparison to Man11th, but then again he has been put under pressure and he's defended well, plus he's made sure that any future raids aren't going to be as costly. So he's learned from experience. Man11th hasn't had that experience yet, and so if MasterofnOne can really get a good raiding party in, which I fear might be done with these ants or these scampers, who at the moment seem to be just forming a perimeter guard, then he can really put a dent in Man11th's production, who is now getting out a significant amount of production, and as long as his commander continues to just build up these vehicle factories, he's going to be uncontested, and he is going to have huge swathes of units on the battlefield in no time. MasterofnOne has to move in now, has to scout now to see what is going on, because MasterofnOne has not scouted in quite a while. He doesn't see any of those vehicle factories. He's hardly found any of the base. Whoops. Wrong box. He's hardly seen any of the actual base. In fact, he hasn't actually scouted, which is really worrying to me. He hasn't scouted, and yet he had those hummingbirds just sat there. I mean, if you don't have fireflies and you have anti-air, just use the anti-air. I mean, he's at such a disadvantage right now because he hasn't scouted. He doesn't know any of this production is here. He doesn't know he needs to ramp up his own production. He doesn't need to know he can do raiding on all of this. Hello, that's my commander right there. I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to sit here in my child remains and just watch you build your medal. Anyway, dodgy accents aside, we do have a raiding party coming in from Master-of-One now. Of course, he doesn't actually know where the spawn is, so these ants are driving blind at the moment, and therefore it's going to be really quite difficult for him to really sort things out. There is a pelter going up here, so that's going to make it difficult to take down these vehicle factories. But as long as he can get past that, now he's doing a little bit of scouting. He really wants to be doing a bit more and sooner. Maybe split off these into different flight patterns, because otherwise it's just a waste of time and resources. I mean, he has all of this over here, which he can do annihilate with his group of scampers wherever they've gone over here. Maybe make a few more scampers and then have, say, 10 or so just go around here and take out this mechs. But Man11th right now is really bulking up on his economy. He's doing really, really well. He's got so many factories coming out. He's got so much expansion because he realises it's uncontested, so, you know, why bother worrying about it? And these ants now are going to be slightly caught out. They've got ants behind them and they've got scampers in front of them. They have taken out a mechs, but is it worth losing this many ants for a single clump of mechs, maybe even two? I think not. I think that is really going to be damaging to Master-of-One's ability to actually come back to this game, because he's just lost a huge number of ants, and there's now more than enough flanking them to take out this raiding party. Is there enough stocked up back home to push the supplies up? No. However, there is an advanced vehicle factory now created, so maybe the advanced eco might help. Bumblebees are also beginning to come out, but how effective are they going to be? We are yet to see. Because right now I just can't, you know, without Man11th just stopping what he's doing and just, you know, letting Master-of-One build up his forces, I can't really see how Master-of-One can come back to this, because he just doesn't have his production value. He has 3 ant factories, 1 air factory and a bot factory, and an advanced vehicle, which is only at the moment getting out advanced fabricators, who are going to get out advanced eco. I mean, you really want factories. And not sure how long we are into this game, probably about coming up on between 5-10 minutes. You know, you want more than 5 factories. And yes, I know I often struggle to do this myself, but then again, I've barely played the game lately. Now, aside from that, it looks as though Man11th is maybe forming up his forces for a complete surround assault, and is really going to catch a Master-of-One off his guard, who at the moment is trying desperately to get up some advanced energy. He's obviously having a little bit of trouble with his eco. He really, really wants to get up some factories, because, I mean, yes, he's getting out some levelers, but how good are they going to be when all is said and done and surrounded? Because right now Man11th has enormous production value, absolutely enormous, and he's just set and forget with his commander and these build orders for these factories. It's phenomenal. And he's got his energy going up as well, really quite rapidly, so that economy is always booming. He hasn't even bothered making the transition to T2 because he's just got so many ant factories. It's ridiculous. I mean, there's a ridiculous number of ants coming out every second, really. You know, we've got 1, 2, possibly even 3 coming out every second. It's quite a sight, really. Now, this is where we start to worry, because yes, Master-of-One appears to have done a little bit of good raiding here with his bomber and his ants. He hasn't continued it and pressed it, though. But now we have this club here moving in. Oh, sorry. I didn't wake up too long ago, so I do apologise for that. And on the side here we have a pelter creep from Man11th. He's going to really put some trouble in for this eco expansion, which is no longer going to happen. And this pelter hasn't quite got range on that one, nor has the radar. But it won't be too long, I shouldn't wonder, before units start to really press in from Man11th. But the longer he waits, the more levelers Master-of-One has a chance to get out. Now this is something that Man11th has not been able to cater for. He has not gone to advanced tier units. And that could pose a problem in the later game because, yeah, if you have a whole bunch of basic units, that's pretty damn awesome. But if Master-of-One can control his advanced tier units well enough, he can do significant damage to the basic tier. And, in fact, a Delta command is under attack. Which one's the Delta commander? This one. What was that alert for? Not entirely sure. But now you see we have this patrol scout pattern. These scampers can no longer take out this expansion because we have defences going up from it. Now this is something they could have exploited earlier before Man11th realised, I don't actually have any defences at these expansions. But now that he does realise that, it's going to be really much more difficult to actually take out those expansions either unnoticed and unscathed. We have also an advanced air factory coming out. That is definitely interesting. Hopefully we're not going too much on the SimCity play here, but we might be getting out some Hornets. Now, because of the Hornets, we might actually see these ant blobs really quite devastated and put under a lot of pressure if those Hornets can get out. But what he wants to do is use his commander. Where is his commander? What is his commander doing? He really wants to use that to assist the factory because it's probably the best way to do it. Right now he's going to move in with some levelers on a pelter nest. Not the brightest idea. Scout, my dear. Whoops, wrong box again. Oh no, he has scouted. I didn't see that. My mistake. The ants are going to soak up the damage for only so long until the levelers start coming under fire from the pelters. I believe it takes 2 hits for a pelter to kill a leveler. I'm not sure. Looks like a lot more than 2 hits actually, but now in come the assisting forces, and these levelers really need to move in now, otherwise they're just going to be in range of the pelters and just getting free gain. Oh my word, no. Move them away, pay attention. Oh, that was a needless loss of leveler. That's very unfortunate really. Not sure whether they're stuck on wreckage or what's going on, but he lost that entire force because, I mean, pelters in the latest version are just so good. They are so good, especially if you get 2 or 3 in the same nest, and then you really have trouble fighting it in smaller groups, and you really need something like 30 or so ants to even get close. Especially if you have adequate radar coverage, because then the pelters can really shoot from a long way away. And because of their leading, they are very accurate against ants. And if you are going to assault one with a bunch of bots, you need to continuously control them and micro them to avoid and predict those shell placements. But here come the ants now. This is going to be a struggle. This really isn't going to be very nice. That's a lot of ants moving in. He really wants to move his levelers over here. He's got some bumblebees trying desperately to do some damage. Doing a little bit of damage, but not enough. And now the ants come out of the crater and they're too close, so they're just going to under complete fire. Under complete fire. That was a complete broadside of this blob. That was not friendly at all. And there's the Hornet there with his carpet bombing, and oh my word! Oh my word, now you see the advantage of Hornets in defending against ant blobs. That is utterly devastating. I just want to make sure they target it correctly. There's now 2 Hornets. They also want to make sure they have adequate defense for those Hornets, but in come the ants now, going to take out huge swathes of energy eco. Maybe potentially just keep those Hornets going around, keep the commander out of danger, but it won't be too long now before Man11th potentially gets up some air and anti-air. Yes, he is now spamming out the hummingbirds to maybe defend against these Hornets and add assistance for his ants. But my goodness me, that was beautiful defense there from the Hornets. Beautiful reveal. Wow. And now, of course, he really needs to press this advantage before Man11th has adequate anti-air, and at least build enough anti-air himself, because Man11th is just continuing to expand uncontested, I think is the right word now. And these bombers just can't do anything. They're going down left, right and centre because of the lack of awareness of the control. Hornets are sitting here, clumping up even more, gradually trying to get up some more eco. And you see here, this pelter nest now is going to be really quite difficult to assault. We've got ant blobs left, right and centre. And I wonder who's going to throw the next curveball. And I think it might be Man11th with his levelers that are now beginning to come out. He's just constantly got energy here, there and everywhere really, because he's got fabricators coming out. He's got scampers, he's got a scamper raiding party on the other side if I remember. Yes, here it comes onto the metal that is completely undefended. Oh my word, both players suffering from undefended expansions. These scampers are going to just absolutely wreck this expansion. These 4 fabricators might just get away with their lives. It looks as though they might do. In come the Hornets again! Carpet bombing. Not too many damaged. But you really want some more anti-air than that, especially with Man11th's new found fleet. Look at that. That's more than a match for Master-of-One's current air force. These scampers trying to get home, going to avoid the carpet bombing. You really want to do some predicting with those 2 hornets. Otherwise they're not going to do any damage. You want to target the ones at the front, not the ones at the back. There we go, that's better. Keep them hidden, keep me secret, keep me safe. No! They're going for a whole anti-air nest. What is going on? Please tell me you're not going to go around for another pass, because otherwise you're going to start really... Oh no. Thank you for leaving. You've lost a hornet, but for the gain of 1 mex and 2 anti-air, that was really not a very good trade, if I'm honest. But now we have the ant blobs and the air force now moving in from Man11th, ready to assist this ant blob. These ant blobs here, 3 of them, going to move in simultaneously. This is probably going to be the ending blow, if I'm not mistaken, because Master-of-One just doesn't have adequate air defense for his bomber escort, unless he's going to try and pull off a bomber snipe. That is a huge amount of hornets there, actually, and it is possible, it might just be possible, that if he keeps his commander out of trouble, I mean, he has this Hulkins now. I'm not sure if he has radar coverage, because it hasn't been firing, to my knowledge, and now that he's going to see these ants moving in, he might try and go, you know what, if you're going to kill my base, I'm going to have a last-ditch attempt at yours. He needs to find the commander first. The commander's right out here in the open. In the open. Don't call a GG. Go in. Oh, you have enough there. You can go in for the commander. Just scout. Go in for the commander. No, now the air force comes in and you're going to lose your hornets. Oh, dearie me. In fact, he might just be able to defend this, but where is his commander? I can't see it. Not sure, but those ants are just devastating the backside of this base. The Hornet's desperately trying to come in. He's got a Hulkins there. And he could use these Hornets for the commander snipe. The commander's still in the open. Oh, this is painful to watch. Painful to watch. But he just doesn't know it's there. He doesn't know. He has radar coverage, but he just doesn't know, because there's just been a lack of scouting, I'm afraid, from Master-of-One. Next wave of ants coming in, because there's just so much production. You can probably just draw a belt around this moon right now with the number of factories that are out there from Man11th. These ants are just going to come in now. They're going to meet the levelers with a group of scampers as well. The levelers are going to get caught on the factory. They're not going to do enough damage, really. They're going to try and do this, but unfortunately not too much is going to be done about it. The ants are just going to be hitting the factory instead. Come on, you can use the Hornets. Where have the Hornets gone? Please tell me they haven't all died. Did they find the commander? No, they didn't. They're just going to... Oh my word! My giddy aunt, there's an anti-nuke there. They found the commander! This could be it. Oh, there's the anti-air. Oh dear. They want to make sure they get that commander. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. Can Master of One pull off this bomber snipe? This is going to be very, very good if he can. Looks like he does. Wow. Oh my word. Oh my word. I am lost for words. That was fantastic turnaround. Utterly fantastic. I'm sorry, but when you have production values like that, you'd expect you to be able to predict the winner of that game. Let's watch that again, and as he finds the commander and follow that through to the end. That was just utterly fantastic. Absolutely. I just want to follow those bombers because that was gorgeous. I mean, since the latest patch, bombers are absolutely just brilliant. Look at this, taking out mechs, taking out production value in a single pass. 3 factories, almost a 4th. Tier 2 factory almost gone down. More amp factories, they find the commander. They realise, you know, this is all or nothing. Moving in, get the first carpet bombing run, getting that commander down onto his knees, pleading for mercy, but no, Master of One is having none of it. Kaboom. Goodness me, that was fantastic. I mean, these ants here weren't fast enough. The commander was on the other side of the base, wherever he is, down here, guarded by some fabricators and some hornets, way away from anything, and that was just stunning. Well, after such a dramatic turn of events, folks, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to pop a like or a comment, or if you ask any questions, I'll try and answer them, etc, etc. And don't forget to subscribe for a lot more coming your way very, very soon indeed. And as always, have a nice day.